Hi, this is Terry Bach, and welcome to the Rewrite Your Money Story series. Having the income that you want is often really difficult and sometimes even feels impossible. You work hard and you really want to be paid well for that. You might even have some income goals, but they're just not happening, and you're really tired of downsizing your life to fit your income. You're feeling frustrated and hopeless because you're not sure you're ever going to get that life that you really want. So I have invited several amazing experts who will talk about shattering your income goals and how to go beyond what you thought possible. And they'll each be talking from their own unique view. So today I've invited Shameca Tankerson, who will talk about how to expand your belief in your capacity to receive more money. So Shameca is a high achiever, her words, with a drive to help others reach their full potential in life and business. She's the creator of the Authority Selling Method, which is the powerful yet simple system for having conversations and making offers that serve and sell. And she's also the go-to woman when you want to learn how to sell more. So welcome, Shameca.
Thank you so much, Terry. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So I have checked you out a little bit, and so I saw some of your case studies where your clients who have services at they're charging $50,000 to $100,000 a pop. So
Yeah.
how does one even get there?
Yeah. Here's what I've recognized in the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the women out there who sell services or sell themselves or who are trying to make a living and they're like the billboard for their business or their companies,
Right.
they are grossly undercharging. And I've been blessed to have the opportunity to travel and speak to women all over the globe, sharing my message of owning your value with zero apologies. And it still floors me that no matter how successful or accomplished these women are, the women that I meet, there typically remains an element of distrust in the value that they bring to the table. So one of the biggest things that we do is we shift that trust and belief that their work is worth way more. And then I push them and challenge them to play a much bigger game.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask how you do that?
How do I do that?
Yeah, how do you help them shift?
So there's a three-step process that I take my clients through, and it's called the power of permission. And what I found often is because of the experiences that we've had in our lives, we don't give ourselves permission to receive the compensation that we feel like we deserve. And so the three parts to these permission slips are, the first one is permission to trust your value.
Okay.
And what that really anchors in for me, or what it anchored in for me in my story, because this is a story of myself. I used to have a business. I lost everything. Found myself actually sitting in the welfare office, feeling like this is insane. You know, I used to have a six-figure business and now I'm struggling and I need to feed my babies.
Right.
And so when I was sitting there, in hindsight, looking back, what I realized is that in order for me to get to where I am today, these are the three permission slips that I had to write. So it's the basis for everything I teach my clients.
Okay.
So permission to trust your value is number one. And I want you to think about this, Terry. If I had $100 bill in my hand, no matter what I do with that $100 bill, how much is it worth?
Yeah.
$100.
$100.
If I ball it up, if I throw it on the ground, stomp on it, if I tear it a little bit, how much is it worth? $100. Right?
Yeah.
And so having lost everything in my business, and a lot of women experience this, you've been with yourself through every setback, disappointment, failure, every goal that you set for yourself that you didn't make, and you bring that along on your journey, and somehow you think your value gets diminished because of it. And what I teach my clients is that you're not valuable despite what you've been through. You're valuable because of what you've been through. It makes you more valuable. You have the wisdom of coming through those setbacks, failures, and disappointments. So they're trusting the value that they bring to the table. The second permission slip is permission to own your expert status. So
Mm-hmm.
owning your expert status is really about not waiting for permission from other people to have a seat at the table, to play on the big kids'
Right.
playground, waiting on someone to deem you and crown you the authority. And I love to tell the story about one of the most famous boxers that we know. So if I ask you, Terry, who's the greatest boxer of all time, who would you say?
I'm not a boxer.
Okay. So what would you say? What do you think?
Muhammad Ali.
Exactly. Doesn't matter if you
Yeah,
know boxing or not. It doesn't matter what age
exactly.
you are. It
That's
doesn't matter when
true.
you live on this planet. I
Right.
have asked Uber drivers. I've asked people in restaurants. I've asked
Right.
children who are 5, 6, 7 years old. When I ask them who's the greatest boxer of all time, they undoubtedly every single time say Muhammad
Right.
Ali. Now, I always follow up with this second question. Who said he was the greatest?
He did.
Exactly. He did. He didn't
Right.
wait on
Right.
anyone to say you're the greatest boxer of all time. In fact, he was quoted
Yeah.
as saying, I said I was the greatest before I ever was, before I ever knew I was. I
Mm.
began to say I was the greatest. And now here we are, generation upon generation later, people are still, decades and decades later, still proclaiming him after his death, still proclaiming
True.
him the greatest boxer of all
It's
time.
true. Very
And so my
true.
encouragement to all of the women out there who are struggling with owning their value or owning the fact that they have something of value to bring to the world and be well compensated for is take a page out of Muhammad Ali's book, plant your flag and claim your own expert status.
That's great. Great. I love that.
There is one more permission slip in this
Yep.
area that I walk my clients through, and that's to stop hiding in plain sight and sell more. Selling is
Mm.
usually a very touchy subject for most people. And
Mhm.
because there's some issue with the word sales or the experience of selling, most women are out there whispering in the marketplace and thus not receiving the clients and the money and the sales that they could be receiving because they're hiding in plain sight. There's a shame
Mhm.
around the receipt of the money. There's so many things going on around this issue of selling. And so we shift to actually viewing selling as something that's a very powerful experience and actually something that you get to do for people. It's transformational and it's powerful because it's their moment of decision.
Wow. I love that. I love those 3 points. So trust your value, own your expert status, and stop hiding in plain sight and start selling.
Yes,
So
sell more.
sell and sell more. Okay. Okay. Very cool. So I know you also work around money blocks. So what are some of the overlooked money blocks that you see that maybe the rest of us don't?
Oh, these are super sneaky.
Okay.
Most people think their money blocks are like their money story or how their parents handle money
Mm-hmm.
or some experience that they had. But these are the ones where I see those who are ultra successful. They're very great at what they do. They are total experts. They're brilliant at what they do. But yet these little things come in and it steals away their ability to earn more. The first one is putting people and things on pedestals. What do I mean
Mm,
by that? Anything that you put on a pedestal that you basically you're saying, hey, I really admire this person, or I really love this thing, or oh my gosh, I could never have $1 million business, or I'm working one day that's going to be me. Anything you
right.
put on a pedestal, you're pushing away. Anything placed
Mm,
on pedestals, whether it's a goal, a dream, or even people, what I want you to understand is that success is no respecter of persons. So when I take things and people off pedestals, so many opportunities will begin to open up for me. Like,
mm,
I want to be in a room like that. I want to speak on a stage like that. Anything that you put on a pedestal, you're making outside of yourself and far away from yourself, and therefore beyond your own reach and your capacity to receive. So the perspective shift here is don't put things on pedestals. Don't look
okay.
up to people, look at them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
What?
pedestals is one.
Okay.
Well, I feel like I'm preaching here.
No, no, this is good stuff. You're not preaching, I'm asking.
um, the second one is receiving help.
Okay.
Receiving help, not just asking for help, but actually
Receiving
receiving
it.
help.
Yes.
And so what happens is that we are so used to, especially when we're smart and we're brilliant, we're so
Mhm.
used to doing everything on our own. We'll figure it
True.
out. We'll put our head down. We'll Google it. And what
Right.
happens is we don't hire the support we need, whether it's a coach to support you or a mentor to support you, or even a
Right.
team member. We're like, once I get to this next point, then I'll
Yes.
open myself up to receive support by hiring someone. When I do this, then here's what that means. Your receiving muscle is all about you making money, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. So
True.
if you have a problem receiving support in your business, I can trace that all the way back to a lot of little things, like you likely don't let people open doors for you. You likely won't let the people at the valet take your bags and put them in your car. You likely say, no, no,
Right.
no, I got this. You
Exactly.
likely won't let people grab your groceries. There's so many different things that you will
Right.
normally say, oh, I got this. And what that translates down to is when your clients are ready to compensate you, when they're ready to pay you for the work, you feel kind of icky about receiving that money. So you want
Right.
to work the receiving muscle in all areas of your life so that it gets stronger to receive more money, bigger money from better
Right.
clients in your business.
Right. Right. And you also kind of push away money if you're not able to receive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Any other money blocks you want to share?
So there's a couple more.
Okay.
I think one of the biggest ones that I think is comparison.
Mm,
And it's not the kind of comparison like I wish I have what that person has. When
right.
you feel less than because of other people's success, because their
Mm,
success reminds you of where you're not,
exactly. Yeah.
then that's the comparison that gets in the way. So if they're there, then I can't. So if I hire a coach or a mentor, or I enroll in a program to help me, if that person only charged $10,000 for their services, how dare I do that? Because I'm just little old me and I'm looking up to them, right?
Right. Right.
Truth is, every time you compare yourself to someone, it's just like putting them on a pedestal and you're judging.
Mm,
And so a perspective shift here would be, what would it take for success to be a source of inspiration, not a trigger for you not to feel good enough or just enough in any area? What would it
right.
take for
Okay.
us not to assume or assign our own filters and judgments towards other people that are working in the same industry as us, um, that are maybe have the same clientele as we do,
Mhm.
that just like you, they're doing the best that they can, and you can also do the best that they can. What if you thought about this as, okay, maybe this is part of why we play so small, right? We
Right.
shrink ourselves because we're in comparison with other people, because we're afraid to receive those same types of judgments we placed on others that maybe make a lot of money,
Mhm. Right.
right? Oh,
Yeah,
oh
we
my
are.
gosh, how can she
Yes.
charge that much for that?
Exactly. Exactly.
And we
Yes.
don't want to trade places with them, right? So
No.
there has to be a perspective shift there.
Okay. Okay. Those are great. Those are great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, those are ones the receiving I've talked about before too, but the other ones, no. Those are really insightful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. So you've talked about collapsing time and making money big, kind of doing money faster.
Hmm.
Does that work?
So collapsing time is one of my favorite things to talk about, because
Okay.
one of the things that I do is I help my clients make a lot of money really fast. So a lot of my clients will take what they've made in a year and they'll make it in 90 days, they'll make it in 60
Mm,
days, they'll make it in a month. Some of them have made it in a single sale. And so it's one of the greatest things for me to do. This lesson started coming to me when I met a gentleman who was doing $1 million. Was it a month? Yeah, he was doing $1 million a month in
wow.
business. And I asked him, how did you go from someone who makes $100,000 a year to someone who
Hmm.
makes $100,000 a day, basically?
Wow.
And he said this. He said, and this, what he said changed my life, and it shifted how I looked at this and
Right.
what I teach my clients. I had to change my relationship to what I believed was a whole lot of money.
Good
I
point.
had to shift my
Mm,
relationship to, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money, right? I just
yes.
did a post on social media a couple of days ago that said, there are people to whom $100 is like $1,000. Yet there are also people to whom $1,000 is like $100.
True.
And the
Very
ones that you
true.
want to attract are the latter.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you attract those kind of people into your clientele, and to becoming a part of your communities and your work that you do, whether it's workshops or private work? You become one of those people who are the latter, where $1,000 is like $100.
Exactly. Exactly.
So collapsing time is just
Wonderful.
all about you
Yeah.
changing your relationship to money. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. So what steps do you have for our listeners so that they might be able to unblock and have money flowing in more?
Hmm. So this might be a little bit revolutionary, um,
Okay.
but I'll
I'm all
start
for
here.
that.
Tell the truth about where you are. Acknowledge where you are.
Mm,
So often I see people put a mask on because they don't want people to know that maybe they don't have as many clients as they want. And so they
mhm.
show up in all of their networking events and they show up on their social media as if they're very, very successful. But on the inside, behind the scenes, they know that they're not accomplishing anywhere near what they're capable of. And so if you can
Right.
tell the truth about where you are and tell the truth about what you truly desire. So many people have
Mhm.
shame around making a lot of money, like a lot of shame. So they say
Mhm.
things like, oh, this isn't about the money. I would just do this for free. All along, they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I
Right.
had enough money to pay my bills. It's not the truth. So the
Right.
truth will set you free. So the first step is tell the truth, have it acknowledge and tell the truth about where you actually are. Only then and only then,
Right.
going to be able to get where you're trying to go. The second
Okay.
step is realize where you are, or where what you're currently doing is actually taking you. Have that
Hmm.
realization.
Okay.
Turn up the volume on the pain, suffering, and frustration and the cost to your future
Yes.
if nothing changes.
Yes.
I often tell a story about smoke detectors. Have you ever had a smoke detector that needs a battery change that you kind of ignored?
Yes.
And then you
Yes.
hear the sound and it's annoying. And then over time, you don't hear it till someone comes over and they're like, what's that noise? You're like, oh, shoot, I have to change the battery in the smoke detector. Well, the same thing
Right.
happens with our frustration, our pain, and growing our business and our money. We
Right.
are so
We
used to being in
adjust.
struggle mode. We
Mm-hmm.
are so used to not hitting, $500,000 a year, that we'll just hit, 480 every single year, because we've just gotten into the comfort zone of doing that. It's like the smoke detector. Your brain turns off the frustration and the feelings that you have about being there and the desire that you have to be on another level. You've gotten used to surviving, you've gotten used to making just enough, being just good enough to be one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's default, it's not by design. So you
Right.
gotta turn the pain, get real
Yeah.
about your frustration about being where you are, and the desire to make a whole lot more money.
Right.
Tell the
We've
truth
learned to
about it.
settle. We've learned to settle for
Yes,
our, yeah.
absolutely. And
Okay.
then the last one is
Wonderful.
decide and declare.
Is what?
Decide and
Oh,
declare. Decide that what you're doing today, the money that you have today, is not the money that you want in the future. And declare that you're going to give it all you got, with consistency, tenacity, focus, and determination, to
mm-hmm.
shift and change something. Like, as long as you're alive and kicking, you
Right.
recognize that every day is a new day and a new chance and a new opportunity to make new decisions, new, more empowering choices.
Mm-hmm.
Every day you're at choice to create something different. So recognize any default patterns that you have that are getting you the results that you have right now. And in any given moment, you can make a decision to shift.
Exactly. You know, it's interesting. I'm in a mastermind. We're studying Think and Grow Rich, and Napoleon Hill talks about being money conscious, and really, kind of knowing where you are, but really having that in your mind in order to
Mhm.
make it happen.
Mhm.
Which is a little bit about what you're saying. Really, is being clear and being intentional about it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay, well, Shameca, I understand that you have a free gift for our audience. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
I do. So if you're a business owner, one of the biggest opportunities you have to make more money is to charge more for the work you do. But the question that I get overwhelmingly from most people is, Shameca, I don't know what goes into a $25,000 offer, a $50,000, a $100,000 offer, a $10,000 offer,
Right.
right? I will say this first. The way that I became an incredible deliverer of high-end services is I became a high-end client. So that's a first place to start. You'll know what's in
Okay.
it when you buy them. That's the first.
Right.
But what I've
Right.
done is I've put together something I call my premium program designer. It is one part training, one part workbook, all inside of one. And what
Nice.
I'm doing is walking you through, what are people really buying from you when they are buying your high-end offer. So I walk you through how to put an offer together that you can sell for at least $10,000, even all the way up. My clients have used the same process to sell $100,000 offers, including how to price it, how to put payment plans together for it. I've also put a little
Wonderful.
section inside of it that walks you through putting a guarantee if you would like to do that as well.
How generous. Thank you. Thank
You're
you so
welcome. You're
much.
welcome.
And for our listeners, all you need to do is click on the button below the video and it'll take you right to Shameca's free gift. Very generous free gift. So Shameca, thank you so much. This was incredible. I love
Thank you, Terry. Thanks for
it.
having me. I love talking about this stuff. I
Absolutely.
could talk about it all day, but I'm
Ah,
excited to be here and I'm excited for everybody who gets to hear this message.
yes, thank you. And thank you to our audience as well for being here on the Rewrite Your Money Story series. And tune in later for our next expert who will be sharing their perspective on shattering your income goals. So I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.